don't know me, my name is Jan. I'm an accessibility consultant. I'm also profoundly deaf. I have a cochlear implant, which gives me a very basic functional level of hearing, and it's really a miraculous thing. So when it comes to this park, my own issue is not so much about accessing the park, but it is about safety. And so when we had the issue with the city not enforcing the camping bylaws, and we had a whole lot of the homeless people in here, I realized there were extenuating circumstances with COVID. However, that was handled so poorly. And it got to the point, I'm in the park almost every day. I live nearby. And it got to the point where, because I cannot hear a lot of the verbal altercations and the threats that were being made, I felt my own safety was really becoming compromised, to the point that I stopped using the park. I had to stop doing my workout routine. My dear dad's ashes are under one of the big trees here, and I had to stop being able to go in and have some chats with my dearly departed dad. So it affected me in that way. My understanding is that this park was bequested to us for all people to enjoy all the time, not just some people, some of them. And the city has taken draconian steps to shut it down. And again, as with many things we've seen during the pandemic, they're saying it's a temporary measure, but it's still here, and people are still suffering because of it. Now, one of the initial suggestions about what was going to be done today was what we call experiential learning, and that's people simulating disability in order to able-bodied people to get a little bit of a better understanding of it. There are some people in the disabled community who do not like this at all. And they really don't feel that they feel it denigrates them. But my position on that, as somebody who does training and awareness, is that it helps give you some more understanding. You will never ever be able to understand what it's like to have multiple sclerosis if you don't have MS, any more than, if I give you earplugs, you're never going to understand what it's like to be deaf. All right, but after you leave, you will have that much better understanding of some of the challenges and limitations faced by people with disabilities. And that is what this is all about. Experiential learning is an absolutely key piece in the puzzle of overall accessibility. Education and awareness is a key factor in that. All right, now, speaking of education and awareness, a lot of people do not realize that the disabled cohort is the largest single minority group in the world. An estimated 15% of people in the world have a disability of some sort. If you live in a Western first world country with an age expectancy of at least 70, all of you, every one of you, can expect to spend up to 8 years of your life in some form of disability, either temporary or a permanent state. So you blow your knee skiing, you're on crutches for 2 months, that's a temporary disability. You might have cancer, you're undergoing treatment for a couple of years, you're off work, that's another temporary disability. It's not always a permanent disability for everybody. And so what we need to do is have people come to the understanding that disability affects everybody at some stage of your life. And the incidence of disability increases with the aging population. With our demographics in Victoria, right now my understanding is about 29% of the local population has a disability. That is only set to increase as we go. So the city really needs to be looking at things like accessible housing. When we're giving those building permits, are people made aware that they need to take steps to make their housing a little bit more accessible? Aging in place is a big component of that. You live in a house now that has stairs. If you break your hip, are you going to be able to continue living there? So all these things need to be taken into account.